So first, I configured a private virtual network using the internal network feature in VirtualBox. So internal networking allows virtual machines to communicate with each other within the same virtual network while remaining isolated from the host machine and external networks. So in my setup, both the server and client virtual machines are connected to the same internal network called INTNet. So this allows communication between the two machines in a secure private environment. Next, I configured the correct hostname for each machine. So a hostname is a unique name used to identify a device on a network. So assigning meaningful hostnames makes network administration easier. So the server hostname is set as server and the client hostname is set as client. After configuring the hostname, I assign the correct IP address to the server. So the server uses a static IP address so that the clients can always locate the server using the same network address. So the server IP address is 192.168.1.1. So a static IP address remains unchanged unless manually modified. So this is important for servers because network services depends on a fixed address. There are two common methods of assigning IP addresses. First is static and the second is dynamic. So a static IP address is manually configured and remains the same unless changed by an administrator. So static IP addresses are commonly used for servers because services rely on fixed address. So a dynamic IP address is assigned automatically and may change over time. Dynamic IP addresses are commonly used for client devices because they simplify network management. So in this setup, the server uses a static IP address. So finally, I verified that the server can access the internet. To provide internet access, an additional network adapter was configured using NAT mode, while the internet network adapter is used for communication within the private network. So in conclusion, I successfully designed and configured a private virtual network using VirtualBox internet networking. So the server was assigned the correct hostname and static IP address. I also explained the difference between static and dynamic IP address. And finally, the server was able to access the internet through an NAT connection, demonstrating a successful network. So in conclusion, I successfully designed and configured a private virtual network using VirtualBox internet networking. So the server was assigned the correct hostname and static IP address. I also explained the difference between static and dynamic IP address. And finally, the server was able to access the internet through an NAT connection, demonstrating a successful network configuration. DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. DHCP is a network management protocol that automatically assigns IP addresses and other network settings, such as subnet mask, default gateway, and DNS servers to client devices. Without DHCP, network administrators would need to manually configure the IP address of every device. So DHCP simplifies network management, reduces configuration errors, and prevents IP address conflicts. So in this project, I configured the DHCP server to automatically assign IP addresses to client machines connected to the internal network. So this configuration allows the DHCP server to assign IP addresses between 192.198.10 192.1.1 and 192.168.1.2 automatically. After configuring DHCP, it is important to verify that the DHCP service is running correctly. A running DHCP service ensures that client devices can receive IP addresses automatically. So the status shows that the DHCP service is active and running, which means the server is ready to distribute IP addresses to clients. So to test whether the DHCP server is functioning correctly, I configured the client machine to obtain an IP address automatically. Then I renewed the DHCP list and verified that the client and IP addresses from the DHCP server. So the client successfully obtained an IP address from the DHCP server and was able to communicate with the server, proving that the DHCP is working correctly. Next, I verified that the client received the correct IP address from the DHCP server. The assigned IP addresses falls within the configured DHCP address range. So the client received the IP address 192.198.1.1, which is within the DHCP range configured on the server. This confirms that the DHCP server is assigning addresses correctly. So this confirms that the clients received the correct gateway information from the DHCP server. Set interface before to enter 0xn and not yet 0xn because yet 0xn is the internal network interface that connects the server to the client. So we only want the DHCP server to assign IP addresses to on the internal network. So if we set it to the EN0, the DHCP server would respond on the internet to
Why did you assign ENP 0x8 instead of using DHCP?
Because the DHCP server itself needs a fixed IP address. So the client uses 192.168.1.1 as its gateway and also to contact the DHCP server. If the server's IP changes, the client would not be able to reach.
What happens if DHCP server is not running?
No.
The client will be still in.
No. If the DHCP service is stopped, the client cannot obtain an IP address automatically. So it will have no valid IP address and it will be unable to communicate with the server or any other device on the network.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Omar Atif. Today I will explain to you about SFTP. What's the SFTP? SFTP stands for Secure File Transfer Protocol. It is used to transfer files securely between client and server over network. Unlike regular FTP and SFTP encrypts all data using SSH. This means no one can read or steal your files during transfers. We use SFTP when we need to upload website file to a remote server, to download backups from a server, to to transfer sensitive or confidential data between systems. SFTP uses port 22, which is the same port as SSH. In short, SFTP gives us secure and encrypts file transfer over a network. Thank you.
What is the difference between SFTP and FTP?
FTP send data as not secure. SFTP makes file more secure.
Which port does SFTP use?
SFTP use port 22. Same port SSH.
How did you upload the file?
I use the bird command inside the SFTP. Also, if you use the SFTP, you will take more security. No one can read your files.
Like this SFTP uses
First, I update the system and install the Aperture web server. After finish install, I check the Aperture service to make sure it was running. Then I use the IPA command to find the server IP address. Then I will copy the IP address. Then I will open the Firefox and paste the IP address. To open the web server. After that, I will edit the index.html file and edit our group information. Then I will edit the content and save it. So after I edit, I will save the file and restart the Aperture service. So I will restart the Aperture service. Then I enter the IP address in a web browser and the web page was displayed successfully. This shows that the Aperture web server has been configured successfully.
What is a web server?
A web server is software that stores and delivers web page to user through HTTP or HTTPS protocols. In this project, Apache Web Server was used to host and display our web page.
Why did you choose Apache web server?
I chose Apache because it is open source, reliable, easy to configure, and widely used in Linux environments. It is suitable for hosting website and running web server configuration.
How did you test your web server?
First, I verified that Apache was running using system status Apache. Then I obtained the server IP address using IPA. Finally, I entered the server IP address in the client's web browser when the web page appeared successfully. It confirmed that the web server was working correctly.
Okay, first I use the sudo I command to switch to the root user. This gives administrator privilege, allowing me to install software and configure the database server. Okay, next, I run the apt update to update the package repository. This ensures that the latest package information is available before installing MariaDB. Then, I install MariaDB server using the apt install maria server y command. MariaDB in the database management system used to store and manage data. Okay, I also test the internet connection using the ping command. The result shows 0% packet loss, confirming that the server had internet access. After the installation, I started the MariaDB service using systemctl start MariaDB. Next, I enable the MariaDB service using systemctl enable MariaDB. Then I check the service status using systemctl status MariaDB. The output show active running, which means the database service is operating successfully. Okay. Next, I execute my SQL secure installation to improve the security of the MariaDB server. Okay, after that, I log into the MariaDB server using the root administrator account. Next, I create a database named Baksu1213DB. This database stores all project-related information. Okay, and then next, I create an employees table to organize employee information into row and column. A table is used to organize data into row and column inside the database. Then I inserted sample employee record into the table using the insert command. Finally, I use the select command to display all records stored in the employees table. This verifies that the data was successfully inserted into the database.
Database.
A database server is a software that stores, organizes, and manages data so it can be efficiently accessed, updated, and retrieved by user or application. In this project, MariaDB was used as the database server to store and manage data on the Linux server. Why did you choose MariaDB? I choose MariaDB because it is open source, lightweight, really compatible with MySQL. Then, widely used in Linux server environments, it is easy to install and configure, making it suitable for this project.
Okay. How do you know your database was successful?
The configuration was successful because the Linux client was able to connect to the database remotely and read the stored data without any error.